So Zeke is chilling out in another room. He was very excited. He didn't really. Zeke is not a podcast dog. He's more of a worker dog. So
Yeah.
Zeke really did not want to be any part of a podcast, which I can't blame him. The dog wants to work, and he said this is a good job. But so we were saying, Christine, that our biggest threat here at the building. Well, not our biggest threat, but one of the threats that really we weren't able to deal with was the possibility of someone bringing in, explosive or the front of the building, or the outside of the building, or parking lots.
Correct.
Tell me the capabilities, not just your dog, but the other two as
All
well.
three. So again, Zeke and Emma actually came on board at the same time. We picked them both up in September of 22, and we were both enrolled in bomb school in January of 23. So we both were able to pass and be in and out of bomb school by April of 2023. At that point, both dogs were then enrolled in patrol and tracking school so that we could also use them in criminal matters for patrol work, Emma, and for friendly find as far as missing elderly or missing kind of like special needs children or whatever, whoever goes missing, we're able to find. The only difference is the outcome. We will find you. The only difference is one dog is patrol trained to stop and hold you, where the other dog is trained to play with you at the end.
Right.
Along with the security
As
of
we just saw.
yeah, along with the security of bomb threats and things like that within the Justice Center. Um, they're also all three dogs are certified to find items that are prohibited. There is a ton of signage from the parking garage to the steps of the courthouse listing all items that are prohibited within the building. Whether people read them or not, that's not our problem, but we do find items that people stash, discard, or too lazy to walk back, whatever. They don't secure properly. And we do also find those items and make sure that they do not end up in the wrong hands
Right.
and they're disposed of once we pick them up.
And you find I'm actually shocked at how much stuff
Yeah,
because I carry a little pocket knife with me
right.
and obviously a gun, but the gun I leave at home when I'm getting on a plane. But I got to remember to take my pocket knife out because you
Yeah,
can't take a knife on a plane.
right.
And people coming to a courthouse, you would think they would just be. I actually don't know if there's anything on the paperwork when they get to appear, whether it's for jury duty or they're coming here as a witness or a defendant or a
Let's see.
plaintiff. I don't know if there's anything actually on the paperwork because it doesn't come from this office, telling them these are things you don't bring with you to the courthouse. But
Hmm.
that might be something to look into in the last couple of weeks here that I'm here.
Hmm.
But yeah, you'd think some common sense would prevail, but not always. But you do find a decent amount of paraphernalia outside the building.
We do. So I do believe it is listed on the jury paperwork. I've seen it.
Okay.
I've gotten called for jury duty. But as far as when you walk in the front door and the screener, for lack of a better word, catches you with that item, they advise you at that point,
Right.
hey, go take that back. It's a prohibited item. It can't be here. Um, at that point, the person chooses whether they want
Well,
to secure it.
just so our viewers know, a legal prohibited weapon. So it's legal before you. It's not actually illegal in the building. You
Right.
just can't bring it in the building.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
prohibited here.
So we're not looking the way on items that are illegal. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once that item is determined to not be allowed within this building, um, you are then advised to go secure it, whatever it is, back in your vehicle or wherever you came from.
Which is a far walk, so they don't want to do that.
It is definitely a walk, but there is signage along the way, the
Right.
entire length of your walk. So people tend to just kind of stash those items in the bushes. They've hidden them in the smoker tower. They've hidden them within the rain gutters. They've hidden them. Zeke found an item under a dead bird.
Oh my God, who touches a dead bird hides something?
You'd be
Great.
surprised.
So they're hiding them anywhere. But
Yes.
tell me, how long was the training? Where did you go?
Okay.
And I know, canine, whether you're a sheriff's deputy or you're in the prison or you're a municipal police officer, whatever you're doing, taking care of yourself is hard enough.
Right.
I mean that on the job. I'm not talking about like personal lives,
Right.
which is also very hard. But I'm talking about now you have a living animal
Mhm.
that's not a human, so you can't really reason with it. That now you're now responsible for,
Right.
and it's a dog. And in Deputy Walton's case, he's a patrol dog,
Right.
so he has other things that that dog does, and Deputy Walton is assigned to the warrant squad, so he's out on the street all
Right.
the time helping apprehending criminals. But your dog and Deputy Norman's dog, how long was the training? And just tell our viewers just how serious this training is.
We started our training initially with Philadelphia Police Department. They laid a great foundation for us. We're still very very friendly with them. We have a great working relationship. Um, as we kind of progressed as a unit, we have since switched over to Penn Vet Working Dog Program, where now we train not only for bomb work but also for the patrol aspect and the tracking aspect.
Right.
So the initial training with Philadelphia was 11 weeks to learn over 25 odors. So these dogs can identify different bomb components along with a fully assembled, you know, item.
Right.
So they are trained for that 11 weeks, and then thereafter to keep up with our skill set, we go once a month for in service, which we now do with Penn Vet Working Dog Program. Patrol training for Deputy Walton and Emma was an additional 14, I believe 14
Yeah.
weeks. And they do 1 day in service with Penn, and then for Deputy Norman and I, we do an additional day of in service for our tracking. Um, so we each get 2 days a month. The initial tracking course was 6 weeks. So within that 6 weeks, we built a foundation of how to find people that have walked off, and also along the way, if they've dropped items,
Right.
we've also learned how to do what they classify as article searches, which is what we do every day here.
No, and these dogs are busy. I mean, I know I see the dogs out there. I mean, I don't see Deputy Walton because he's on the street,
Right.
but you and Deputy Norman, you're in the building, and you have other duties too. And
Correct.
you really have. I hope the other two deputies don't get upset with me, but you really have become iconic in the county.
Oh,
And I mean that. Listen, I say it 100 times. I say it in front of everybody, the other two guys as well. I mean, you really, this is in your heart. And
it is.
a lot of my experience in Ben Salem, the canine officers, they're a different breed. But I'm bummed. But I'm bummed. But to have that dog in the car, personally, not my cup of tea during the
Right.
summer months when the cars are hot and
Hmm.
dogs are all panting and the hair's coming out and everything.
Yeah.
But you really take it to a new level, and you guys are called,
We are.
especially. We have in the county who is Lieutenant is who is it from Ben Salem that runs the bombs?
Shum.
Lieutenant Shum from Ben Salem
Yes.
coordinates the bomb dog response because there are how many bomb dogs in the county?
Last count, I believe we have 9 teams plus Lieutenant Shum with his dog. That would make a supervisor, so 10.
And we're three of them.
And we are three of them.
So we're a
If my
third.
count is correct, yeah, I think we're at least 9, between 9 and 11, I'll say.
Yeah, and that was my goal in 21 and 22 when I got here. I really wanted the sheriff's unit for the sheriff's department people to start calling us for things,
Right,
and for your unit that really has come to bear.
right.
Not only the parades
No,
and the
no,
shaking hands and kissing baby events,
yeah.
but for real police work as well. And kissing babies and shaking hands is real police work too, as far as I'm concerned. Because it's breaking barriers
Mhm.
down, and it's especially somebody like you with your personality. Um, the kids really take to you, the parents really take to you. So it really works out. And I love when Chief Moore's in Bristol Borough calls for you, and
Yeah.
other chiefs call for you, and now you're getting calls from Delaware Valley University, right? Then they call for you for bomb searches and stuff like that.
We were contracted with them for 2 football seasons to do their stadium sweeps. And I think that was one of the goals for us as a unit was to be recognized by other agencies as a resource for them.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things I find. You can have a dog, you can train with this dog. We train every day, we do drills all the
Right.
time. But if nobody knows you exist, you're not going to get called.
You're exactly right. And listen, I'm not sure there's anybody in this county that doesn't know your name, or maybe they know
Oh.
Zeke's name first and then your name. Hey, who's that girl? Who's that woman with
Yeah,
with that dog Zeke? But
right.
I'm pretty sure they know Christine Brewerton, Deputy Brewerton, pretty darn well. Um, and just so our viewers know, when we go to the other events like specialties like the colleges and stuff like that, they pay us back for that. That we
I
bill
do.
them and they pay the county back because I get it. We're law enforcement is not in a money making business. We certainly do not turn a profit here, to use layman's terms,
Mhm.
but we do got to bring in some money if we can to offset some costs. And the
Right.
other thing about canine, and obviously you guys have been really good at this, is getting money
Yeah.
from outside foundations. There's a couple things I really want to hit on, but talk
Right.
about the big one that donated dogs and vests and stuff like that.
So we've been very fortunate. Again, when I came to you with the plan, I made sure that I had a lot of the bases covered because I knew there would be questions.
You always ask about money.
How are we going to afford this? And you don't really realize how much canine cost until you're knee deep in it.
Oh, you're not kidding.
So for me, I had to make sure that we had a lot of support prior to, because we had never had this type of division. So the first foundation that helped us was the Hometown Foundation, and they donated both dogs to us, Zeke and Emma, initially. They were able to secure these dogs for us. They paid the cost. They paid our crates. They paid for our lodging to drive up, check the dogs, come back. All of those things that were associated with just even looking at these dogs and possibly bringing them back. So the Hometown Foundation every year they bring us up back to Connecticut. They check on their dogs. They take us to training, and they pay for that because these are their investment as well. And they want to see their dog succeed, so they will put us in specialty classes once, sometimes twice a year.
Right,
The next foundation that stepped in that was huge, and they're not even from around here either, was Iron Dog.
right,
Iron Dog is based out of Georgia, and I had reached out to them looking for medical training because we we take classes on how to do human CPR and how to kind of patch up a human, but it's a little different when it comes to a dog.
right,
So they supported us in that way, and they said, "Hey, if we fly Canine Medic to you, which is a course, and you can fill 10 seats, we'll put you in that class." And that's what we did. So we called a bunch of different units from the area, Montgomery County here. We put that class together, and Dale and I, well, Deputy Walton and I, at the time, we had just Zeke and Emma. So we took the course, and we were able to get a really nice trauma kit for each dog afterwards. So if God
I
forbid
remember
anything
that.
happens to either the dogs or humans, we're prepared to deal with the problem until the
Right,
paramedic gets there. Um, After that, Iron Dog then stepped in, knowing that we still needed a little extra supplies, as far as just to kind of work on our skill set when we can't get to training. You don't want to just train the minimum. So they stepped in and purchased us a brand new a brand new bomb kit that is secured safely, and it is not anything that's going to explode in the courthouse.
right.
But we do have a bomb kit that at any time during the day we can access it. We can go hide things and test our dogs at any time of the day, and that's thanks to Iron Dog because they really didn't have to. We don't see them all the time. they're
Right.
they're out of state. So they were another foundation that really kind of stepped in and helped us. And then we've got the community support that that's constantly
And and you're
rolling
selling,
in.
you sell shirts and the stuffed animals, the dogs. I mean,
Right,
these are all big. One, they raise money, which is
right.
very important. You raise a couple $1,000 that pays for one thing or another.
Hmm.
I see. I don't want to go and say that it's 100% because I'm sure. somewhere something may have been charged countywide. I don't
Mm,
know off the top of my head, but we're hot. 95% of this is all paid for with outside funding.
correct.
We have a medical plan for the dogs.
We do. We're very, very lucky. We were able to go to a local vet and speak to them, let them know what we have here, and they, without hesitation, stepped right in.
Yeah,
And they said, "Hey, as long as those dogs are employed, as long as those dogs are with you, we will cover all costs for flea and tick medication to major surgery at no
yeah,
cost." And so when I do take Zeke for, a random teeth cleaning, we get a bill that has zero, and we don't pay that.
yeah. And
They
that's
take care of it.
fantastic.
Yes.
And a lot of it is just because you're networking. So let's switch a little bit. You're talking about some of the training. One of the things that people always ask is, well, the dog can the dog do drugs and other stuff? And obviously, I know the answer to that, but coming from the source, a professional. So explain to the public, why dogs can't do bombs and drugs, or drugs and something else.
So when it comes to odor work, there's tons of different dogs, and they're all definitely needed within the county. But if you were to walk by me and you have a pocket full of drugs and a bomb strapped to your back, and my dog sits, if they were dual trained on two different odor and totally different things, I wouldn't know what to do with you.
Right.
I wouldn't know if I need to call for backup for myself to lock you up or if I need to call the bomb squad. So that is why dogs are trained on one specific odor set.
Right.
And that's why there is a need for, a specific odor set within this courthouse anyway, for potential threats.
Right. No, absolutely. People don't understand that. The dog doesn't know if it's smelling, C4 or cocaine. The
Right.
dog just knows that, hey, this is the thing I was supposed to smell for, and I get a reward when I find it.
Right.
The dog doesn't process.
It's
Also,
all a game.
the dog doesn't know whether it's a capsule full of C4 or a brick of C4, or whether
Right.
you're not talking about one joint of marijuana or 3 pounds of marijuana. It
Right.
doesn't know. Maybe the technology in 100 years from now will change that, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Unless God changes the way dogs smell, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So it's very important for people to understand dogs don't know one scent from the other.
Correct.
And a lot of times getting on the cruise ships and other type of airports, a lot of the airport dogs I know are narcotics dogs.
Right.
The people probably don't know what dog is there and smelling for what, whether they have certain
Hmm.
dogs that are bombs or certain dogs that are drugs and narcotics and things like that. So
Right.
that's I just want people to understand that the dog can only really train from one type of not scent, but one type of item. So
Right.
obviously drug dogs can smell cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, marijuana, blah 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 blah. I worry in the future if marijuana becomes legalized that you're going to have a whole generation of narcotics dogs that are going to be useless
Mm.
because you can't retrain them and get that scent out of them. So those dogs would basically have to be retired, and you'd have to start the training all over again, taking marijuana out of the equation. But that's a topic for another day. Um, so you've had some success stories, right? I know you had some missing persons.
Right.
Obviously, we talked about the prohibitive weapons, prohibitive
Hmm.
items that you have found outside the courthouse, but also you've had some success at missing persons.
Right. So all of our dogs have been summoned in one way or the other. Emma has been called out along with Zeke for some dignitary details when, we'll say, presidents of other countries come here. We are on the task force that goes and makes sure that the
Sure,
area
yeah,
is safe. So we have been called to that. All three dogs did that this summer.
right.
So that was nice to get all three dogs on an actual job. Um, Emma was able to assist Bristol Township in locating a firearm that someone had hidden after having a pretty
That was a big
rough night.
job. I remember that.
It was, and that was a good learning experience for all three dogs actually to work together to kind of take an area to search and her search area had the item we were looking for, so that was good. Zeke has also been called for a missing person. We assisted with that, and as a unit with that municipality, we were all able to locate this lady and bring her back. That was a great team effort. And then just in general, we do get called for any type of specialized events that are planned. Um, we just worked alongside Philadelphia for one of their jails,
Hmm.
and we did a sweep with bomb dogs, drug dogs, and electronics dogs. So we did that. We get our fair share of work, and it's all great. It's a lot of fun.
Well, you certainly, I know you guys are certainly busy. I know you're always training. And like I said, you're always being called. And that was the goal.
Right.
When you came to me in September of 22, um, you thought I was going to forget that date, didn't you? And
We'll
you've
never
been,
forget it. It's on our patch.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, we'll never forget.
You've been with the county. You were dispatcher for how many years?
I started part time in 2006. I went full time in 2007, and I worked 911 from '06 until 2018 when I transferred over here, and I've been here ever since.
So you've been here almost 8 years.
Right.
And you certainly are. Not to pick one deputy out, but you're definitely one of the superstars here, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
Everybody thinks they're a superstar, and we have a lot of superstars here in their own. In their, everybody does a very important role here. It's not just deputies walking around moving prisoners and staying in the courtroom looking, like they're not doing anything. They are doing something. They're constantly looking for threats and things of that nature. And knock on wood, we have very little incidences here.
Right.
I know last week we had an incident in the lobby where a deputy got in a fight with somebody. But you guys do a phenomenal job, and
Thank you.
you do other stuff when you're needed. I see
Right.
you in the lobby. I see you in courtrooms.
Hmm.
So I don't want people to think, "Whoa, what a waste!" What does he need? What do they need 3 dogs for? I'm like, we always have our priorities here, and the dogs sometimes get secured.
Hmm.
And if you're needed in the lobby, you go to the lobby. If you're
Right.
needed in the courtroom, you're in the courtroom. But sometimes you're in the lobby with a dog, as
Right.
for the dog to be checking people as they come in. So we always know what we're doing as far as our priorities. But it is a huge, huge asset to have this unit here. Where the future will go in the sheriff's office as far as expansion, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to expand our footprint. I was doing more and more of that, until recently. Um, but I would be shocked if you're not secured with these dogs because you do a phenomenal job. And shame on anybody that tries not to do that, that tries to mess with this unit. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And you got a gem in this unit here, and everybody's heart is in it, and that's very important when you can have the officers or the deputies, have so much personal stock in this.
Right.
Um, and Deputy Walton, comes with a military background. Did he have a dog in the military? I don't.
I don't believe
Yeah, I don't
so.
believe
I don't.
so.
I think we're all three of us are first
Canine,
time canine.
canine. Right. But you have a bunch of dogs at home, right? You have 2 dogs.
Yes, I basically have a house full of toddlers, but yes,
Yeah.
that's yes, I do. I have. Yeah, it's
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
so funny. But you do phenomenal work. Um, Anything you want to throw out? I mean, I know your head is full of information, and I
It
know, I know you live and breathe this stuff. I
I
know it.
do. I do. It's so important. It's always been even when I dispatched, I was very embedded within canine. You always want the canine. Everybody wants the dog to visit, but they do important work, and that is at the end of the day. Do I love having the cute faced lab? Yes, he's great. He's so much fun, but he also does very scary work.
Yeah, oh, for
When
sure.
we get called, it's not for anything fun.
Yeah.
Um, for that FBI job that started in Jersey and ended in Warminster,
Oh yeah.
that by far was the scariest night of my life.
Right.
And it was because I knew a bomb had detonated somewhere else. And my dog needs to let them know if there's anything else that potentially could blow us up.
You know, just
So
just like deputies and officers, you just never know what
you
the
never
day's going to
know.
bring,
You
and
never know.
especially for the dogs, because the dog, let's face it, you're doing this of your own free will. Not that the dog really doesn't know any better.
No, it's all a game.
It's all big game to him or her, and next thing you know, it could be life changing for them. And
Right.
you know, I always said like, well, they're humans, but they're these are living, breathing animals, and
Right.
you certainly don't want them to get hurt, and you don't want them to make a mistake and hurt somebody else because they
Exactly.
can't talk to you.
Right.
But they are good.
They are, and you do you hear it all the time from any training, any trainer. You will hear day one until the end of your career. Trust your dog, and you really learn to do that because especially when you're going to an actual bomb threat, you don't know,
Right.
and if your dog sits, you get out of there, and that's you trusting your dog, and whether they find a device or a piece of something that could be used later, you have to trust what they are telling you because they can't tell you anything else. They're there to play a game. You're there to save a life. So that's just our job. A lot of the time looks a lot of fun and it
Yeah.
looks like we're just doing nothing. But when we do get called, which is often, um, it's scary and it is dangerous. And we choose to do it to keep our county and surrounding areas
Yeah.
safe. It's not
Well,
just us anymore.
and we make ourselves available. One of the
Yes.
things I really believe in the sheriff's office is I've said this 100 times. We're an asset and to assist other law enforcement in the county and anybody else
Right.
that needs our assistance. Not just with canine, with every other aspect of this office. If and I throw this question: if someone said to you today, "Hey, I can make you sergeant lieutenant, but you got to get out of canine,"
I would turn it down.
I'm sure you would.
I would. I just love my assignment. I love the flexibility I have. Um, just to shout out the dispatchers real quick. They know they can call me at any time. Day, night.
The whole county knows that.
They know, but the dispatchers are the ones that we pop in their head and they're like, "Hey, well, the sheriffs have dogs. Why don't you call them? They're all over the county."
Right.
Because we are Monday through Friday. We're there. I mean, we're a
Well,
lot of
you're also
we're
on call on the
available.
weekend.
Right. And it's not to say that other dogs aren't, but those dogs work rotating nights sometimes
Right.
and sometimes their handlers have to sleep.
Right.
So they're not available during the day because they worked 16 hours last night. So it is nice that the dispatchers know they can call us, the supervisors know, other municipalities, other states, they know they can call us because we'll pick up the phone and go.
Well, I can tell you, I'm very proud of you guys. The three of you, and you really made this unit known. Especially, listen, I know the other two might get mad at me. By the way, we
We
tried
do
to
our
get,
best.
as you know, we tried to get all three, but the schedules just didn't permit. I had some time today. I saw you. I'm like, hey, let's get Christine today.
Right.
I'm not sure how much Norm and Dale would actually be talking. You're definitely the talker in the group,
I know.
which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
So they need somebody like that. But you guys are a good team, and I just want to see you. The whole. I just want to see this office grow, grow, grow. The footprint get bigger, and certainly the sustainability of the canine unit. And I think it's a very, very important unit, not just for the sheriff's office and the safety of the CJC, the Criminal Justice Center, but really as a county asset. So when chiefs needs a canine and they don't have a dog for bombs, explosives, they know they can call the sheriff's office and without hesitation we'll respond. And we're not
Right.
really, we don't have the same shift, issues that municipal officers do. So
Right.
from me as a citizen of Bucks County, a resident, and especially you're from the town where I live in now in Bristol Borough, and I know I see you down there whenever the chief needs you.
Yeah.
I appreciate all your hard work in keeping the residents not just of Bucks County, but also a little shout out to Bristol Borough. Everyone's like, I thought you were from Ben Salem. We moved in January 22. We moved. I know I should have moved further north, but well, now that wouldn't have made any sense. So,
Right.
since I won't be driving to Doylestown in 4 weeks, I appreciate it. Christina, I'm gonna leave you. Last words. Shout out for the dogs.
Well, I will say not only do we do bomb work, but we do missing people. So we will also help bring you home.
There you
You go
go.
missing, we'll help bring you home,
Bring you home
and you
safely.
know, and we can do that too. So again, if any of these, I am one that I'm constantly on the computer. I'm constantly stalking calls to see where we could potentially be needed. I do check to see what other dogs are working, so I can, okay, if something comes in throughout the county, I know that team. We've worked together. We've trained together. I don't want to step on any toes. So things like that. As long as we keep our networking the way that it is, I think this unit could last a very long time. Everything that we've done thus far seems to be working, and our training, our just the community support has been phenomenal. I cannot complain. I can walk in to a local pet store and get food, treats, grooming because our dogs get very dirty very quick. All of that, and that the community just says, "Hey, we got you. Don't worry about it." So it's very nice to just have that and know that they back us. You back us. They back us. It's great to have all that support.
Yeah. That's great ending words, and
Right.
I appreciate all your work. Good luck to you. Be careful,
Thank you.
and
Thank you
keep.
for letting us start this.
Thank you for bringing this to
Yeah.
me and the county. Bucks County Sheriff's Office K-9 Unit, and
Mhm.
you're here today with Deputy Christine Brewerton and Zeke, and the
Yes.
other deputies are doing other stuff right now. But thank you for doing this, and I know the unit's gonna flourish, and I'm gonna be hearing some great things in weeks, days, months,
We'll keep making you
years
proud.
to come. I appreciate it. I'll always, I'm glad I was a part of
Yeah,
uh, the beginning. So I'm glad this happened.
me
So
too.
without further ado, thank you for joining
Thanks for having
episode
me.
25 of Law and Order Bucks. Until next time, I'm your sheriff for now, Fred Herron, with Deputy, I keep saying that, Deputy Christine Bruden and Zeke, who needed timeout.